Homer turned Husker. Nate knows that I'm the smartest person here. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
A very happy Monday to all of you. My name's Nate Brennan, Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet, out for the day. It is officially his birthday week. He's doing some strict things, as he always does. But we still got Nick Sainert, Jake Bachman stepping in, helping us out, as they always do. 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline. As always, we want to hear from you because it's Overreaction Monday. We want to know your thoughts, whether good, whether bad, whether indifferent. Let us know. You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Interact with us on all those platforms as well. See what's going on here in studio. Again, myself, Nate Brennan, Jake Bachman, Nick Sainert, all join you for On the Block. Gentlemen, what's going on?
Oh, not too much. We're just watching some U.S. soccer.
Talking
some
Nebraska
Yeah,
soccer.
this is intense here.
Yeah, I was about
We have
to
a
say,
corner.
yeah.
We have a corner.
We'll obviously get into some Nebraska football talk because that's on the top of everyone's mind. But to give an update, they're about to enter the 69th minute, and the United States has a corner kick. They're up 1-0. So I was going to say 1-0, but I know in soccer they say nil.
Bingo on the pitch.
So they're on the pitch. It's a match, and it is 1-0. So definitely want to go head over to Fox. Fox is where they're playing that as well.
Oh, that's a good pass.
Again, so the USA facing off in the World Cup. When's the last time you guys have watched soccer? Because to be honest with you, it's been 8 years for me.
Olympics. It was the Olympics. Now, I will say, whoa, that's a good tackle. What's crazy, it always fascinates me how they can direct the soccer ball with their head so well. Because whenever I tried that on the playground, guys, it killed. It hurt. I mean, I just don't understand. I know there must be a specific way you have to head the ball or header the ball, if you will. But it's I mean, the accuracy is really something.
Buck, I can already tell that Nick's one of those guys that acts like he knows what he's talking about.
Right. See, here's the deal. No, I'm being
I'll be
serious,
honest with you guys. I know
nothing about soccer. I know
Ball
nothing.
goal.
I know nothing about the offenses. I know nothing about how it's played. Like I could never play it. I could never do that much cardio. But
it's funny because Rico, before he left the room,
he was trying to tell
us the United States isn't trying to score.
Yeah, they're like,
what?
yeah, they're not. Oh no, Pulisic is down.
Uh-oh.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
But yeah, that's the one thing is I'm one of those people, and I brought this up today too on Twitter, that I get so frustrated because I met a few people that get frustrated that I like follow the World Cup. I'll probably talk about it. I might even tweet about it a little bit. I don't understand because I compare it a lot to baseball. You're trying to grow the sport. It might not be a popular sport to some people. I encourage everyone to watch baseball. I encourage everyone to watch the World Series. If you're only going to watch Game 7 of the World Series, that's fine with me. I encourage that you do so. I've never really understood that about the soccer fans, but soccer fans are very proud.
They don't like it if you don't know soccer to watch the sport. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I've had a few fans that say. I don't know if you've met people like that too, Bach. They're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I'll be the first to tell you I have no clue. But I do know that U.S. is up 1-0.
1-0.
1-0. Sorry. They're up 1-0. So I know that. The unnamed texter says, one more game, then another terrible season is finally in the books. Well, boys, how about we get into that? How does that sound? We're going to have to take a quick break because, unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately for you guys, because it was still the same group, we had a long crossover, and we were talking a lot of around the college football landscape. But Nebraska had a game this past Saturday and didn't like the outcome, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to break all of it down, so make sure you stick with us on the block, 937 The Ticket. No Eric Strickland today. Probably not too much during this week, but we still got Nick Sainert, Jake Bachman, Nate Brennan joining you. Stay with us. We'll be right back on the block.
The World Cup is back, and Lincoln has great places to watch all the great soccer. Rosie's downtown at 10th and P and Captain Jack's at 12th and P have teamed up with America's watch parties to cheer on the USA. Matches go all week long, but make sure to stop by on Black Friday for USA versus England. Rosie's and Captain Jack's will both be open at 8 a.m. for the 11 a.m. match, and stick around to watch the Nebraska-Iowa game right after. It's the World Cup at Rosie's downtown and Captain Jack's with the American Outlaws.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2865 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
I'm dreaming of
winning thousands of dollars,
just like the ones
the Nebraska Lottery is giving away.
May your days be merry and bright
when you enter the Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion.
And may all your holidays
be filled with lots and lots of cash.
I'm dreaming of
entering non-winning Nebraska Lottery Holiday Wishes scratch tickets,
just like the ones
you can find at any Nebraska Lottery retailer.
May your days be merry and bright.
How could they not, with chances to win $1,000, $5,000, or even $10,000?
And may all your Christmases be
green.
There are 2 drawings for winners, so visit your nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer today. Buy some tickets and enter our Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion. Promotion ends January 4th, 2023. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back in 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sadert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction. quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party post-game show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Quilliers, and Brent Excavating.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Chenery's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Sunny and mild here for our Monday. We'll top out at 53. Winds out of the north and around 10 to 15. Heading into tonight, mainly clear, and overnight low dropping down to 23. The quiet and mild weather continues for your Tuesday. Sunny skies with an afternoon high of 57. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Don't let high interest rates get you down. Acres has you covered. For a limited time, Acres, the nation's largest combine dealer, is giving you 2% fixed rate financing for 60 months on select used combines. With this incredible offer, you could save thousands. Visit your local Acres location or acres.com to check out the widest selection of low-hour, late-model combines available. Don't wait. The great deal runs out at the end of November. Subject to finance approval. Some restrictions apply. Offer ends November 30th, 2022.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. My name's Nate Brennan, the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland, doing some Eric Strickland things. He's on his way over to Texas, I believe. So he's got a birthday this week. He's going to be celebrating with some friends, doing some strict type things, as he always does. Jake Bakovin, Nick Sainert joining me today for On the Block, 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter and text line. As always, we want to hear from you. You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. That's the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream. See what's going on here in studio. Interact with us on those platforms as well. All right, gentlemen, we can get into it now. So I had a little bit of a shorter segment there. The United States still up 1-0 right now, about to enter the 80th minute to keep you guys posted on what's happening in the World Cup. I want to start by saying I am sorry, because the 2 years that I've now been at Nebraska and watched Nebraska football games, that one, and I want you to speak on this, Bach, because I know that you've followed this team for a long time. That one hurt. That was one of those that I watched, and I actually was telling myself towards the end, okay, the streak, the whatever is broken. Nebraska is going to find a way to win this game. It's going to be over. And here we are again, and Nebraska found a way to lose in probably the most awful way imaginable, where it's completely collapsed in that fourth quarter. And it just, I am sorry, because that was tough to watch. That's and I know a lot of bads happened in the 2 years. That's the worst one that I've seen. That hurt.
Yeah, I mean, that you have a 14-3 lead. I think more than anything, it's just the streak. I mean, they've got to beat Iowa or Wisconsin at some point. Just even if you're not having a good season, just have something go right for you. And they had the lead, and then it just kind of broke down exactly how you expected it to. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's the most hurtful one. I mean, I think about some other games that were just, if you kind of follow the win chart or whatever it is on ESPN, it's like 95% chance you're going to win, and then they break it up. I always think about that Northwestern game, Scott Frost's first year, to go 0-6. It was just crazy, the things that had to happen for Northwestern to get back in that game. But it's another tough one. It's another punch in the gut. And unfortunately, again, I don't know how many Wisconsin fans you run into, but it's a whole nother year of this streak just continuing on. Obviously, there's a bigger fish to fry in the Nebraska football office, but again, it puts a little bit more pressure on this Iowa week, because they might not. I don't know if you see too much of a difference between 3-9 and 4-8, but at least beating Iowa, having a chance,
there's something to build off.
And breaking up their season as hopeful as they're kind of getting. I was kind of looking at some of their Twitter, the locker room afterwards. They're all getting in their family feels, and we stick together. That's why we're good. All that stuff. When you win, it just sounds so good. When you're losing, it's just like, well, I don't know how much I believe in all that, but we'll see. I mean, it was definitely a hurtful one, though. It was one that I think a lot of people expected to win there in the fourth quarter, and many people didn't expect to win, even up 14-3, because of what they've seen before.
Well, I think the way, for me, this is what was just the worst part about it, is that you went and you scored at the end of the third quarter. Trey Palmer had his second touchdown of the game. You go into that fourth quarter, The first drive, 10 plays, 75 yards in 5 minutes. Bam, touchdown. Okay, that's fine. They get the ball back, 7 plays, 50 yards, scored in 2:30. Bam, done. I mean, it was almost like it was a nightmare because it was the same thing that happens over and over and over. And I just felt like this was the one when Graham Mertz is their quarterback. Braylon Allen, credit to the defense before the collapse in the fourth quarter. Braylon Allen was shut down. I mean, they did an excellent job of stopping the run with Braylon Allen. And it just seemed like in that fourth quarter, it was just Nebraska always finds a way. And I feel for these players. I feel for this fan base. I feel for the coaching staff because I just watched something like that. And it just, when is it going to end? I mean, that's honestly the question that I have now is when will this end? Like, Nebraska fans have been punished enough. You just keep getting punched in the mouth over and over and over. And it just makes you think like, okay, at what point are the football gods going to say, okay, enough is enough? Because it just keeps happening. I don't know. Out of all the games that I've seen as a Nebraska fan over these past 2 years, that one just, it sucks. And I'm sorry to the fan base because that sucks the way that went down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, you got competition with kind of starting the year, the Northwestern, the onside kick. That one was pretty painful. Of course, Illinois last season, the first game, really kind of, these things really put a damper on the start of the season. Nebraska never got up afterwards. And that's so, I mean, if you're going through the worst losses, you certainly have some competition there. But listen, I know they're up 14-3, but again, it's kind of the same discussion when they were up 10 on Minnesota. If you're only scoring 13 or 14 in the game, you're not giving yourself much room for error. So, this idea of, well, they've had this double-digit lead twice now, and, it does hurt. It's frustrating, too, because you really want it for Mickey. I mean, Mickey has stepped in,
right.
Done a great job of kind of keeping this thing together. That clearly hasn't lost the team. They're still fighting hard. They have a lot to kind of go up against, as we know, with what he inherited. And I guess it was good. I mean, the moment when they beat Indiana, his first win in the locker room was special.
Right.
But I mean, it was just a small moment in time, I suppose. I just wanted and still want with this Iowa game left, just for Mickey to get another win, because I think he probably needs it to advance his career a little bit. And I suppose if you want him to stick around at Nebraska, maybe it is better that he might not get head coaching opportunities. But I think down the line, he's a guy that stock's just going to keep rising in college football. So I guess I'm not too worried about him. It's not a matter. It's more a matter of when than if it's going to happen for him. But it just, he deserves it. This team deserves it. They just couldn't get it done. And so it's frustrating to see it. And it felt like maybe that one possession loss thing was the Scott Frost thing. And clearly, I mean, part of it was, and maybe that's still the hangover.
But not entirely.
But once you get him out of the locker room, since then, they've been losing these one possession games again. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Purdue. If you include Frost in with Northwestern, it's a lot more of them. But the good side of that is how much needs to be done at Nebraska to truly be competitive at the top of the conference is a lot. But at the same time, still one possession losses in 4 Big Ten West games. You feel like the division, whatever they do this offseason, maybe it's not such a long build to get some more wins in this division.
Yeah, I'd agree that it's not maybe a long build, but it's just the fact that this just keeps happening. And I don't know if I don't know what's causing it, because I've never seen anything like that. And it's just over and over and over. And what hurts the most is that when I was watching it downtown, there's always that feel when you're watching Nebraska football. Oh, great. When's it going to happen? I mean, they were beating the hell out of Wisconsin. Simply put, they were dominating against Wisconsin. And it felt like for once, okay, everything is going to work out. It's all falling into place. And then at the same time, it falls apart. And Nebraska Nolan brings up the lead against Iowa last year still makes me sick. Wasn't it 17 points? I'd put that one probably at the top of the list. Yeah. But this one I think is worse simply because of the fact that last year it was a backup quarterback and you're still dealing with Scott Frost, that situation. The season was a wash. You'd already decided you were going to bring him back. I think what hurts so much about this is the point that you bring up, Bach, is that you just wanted it for Mickey. It's senior day after everything this team has gone through, to then have Mickey Joseph in the position to finally end this streak against Wisconsin. I mean, it crushed and it hurt. And it was just one of those things that it makes you wonder, where do you go from here? I wish I could tell you the solution, but there were a lot of guys that we were talking about at the beginning of the season that I don't think I would put at the top of my list. A guy like Matt Campbell, even a guy like Lance Leipold, like those guys to me are kind of out. Like they're not at the top of my list. So even in the aspect of who's coaching the team and recruiting and what happens with Mickey, I mean, there's just so many variables. And it was like, okay, maybe there's just this one like glimpse of hope that we can have. It's because what's going to happen this offseason? Does a win against Wisconsin change that? Probably not. The outcome was probably going to be the same. I'd assume that Trev probably has his idea, maybe not final idea, but he's got a couple ideas that he's probably finalized. That wasn't going to change much, but it was to have that one game and say, you know what? Despite everything that's happened, Mickey Joseph got that win. That looming cloud, that dark cloud over you that was Wisconsin, it finally ends. And it all fell apart again.
Well, it's just a game that matters. I mean, Nebraska, again, you can, there were feel-good stories about beating Indiana, but ultimately beating an Indiana team is not going to do a whole lot for this fan base. Beating Rutgers on the road, and I don't want to diminish what they're doing, but at the same time, just count how many wins they've had over the last couple of seasons at Memorial Stadium, and then just think of the last time they've had a meaningful victory, and that's like, you know, it happens in college football, just random Saturdays. Georgia Tech just got one with an interim coach. Like, they beat North Carolina. Like, you don't have to have this special recipe to once in a while have things go your way. In Nebraska, it just seems like cannot find it. And of course, it was a problem with Bo. When you talk about Bo, big game Bo, by the end was blowouts in those games. And so it kind of feels like it started there. Riley never really able to get a big win other than when his team was 3-6. You know, and Scott obviously never got a big win at all. And so it just kind of, it keeps going. It's like, I just want a Saturday, especially in Lincoln, a home game downtown after the game. People are happy.
Right.
It just,
you did it. I mean, you did it.
Been here. It's sad.
It is sad. And what's so frustrating is watching the way that Iowa ended up beating Minnesota, and now Iowa in the driver's seat to win the Big Ten West now is what it comes down to.
The driver's seat to lose 41-3 again.
Right.
Yeah.
But with that being said, you beat Nebraska, you're in the Big Ten championship game again, and you find Iowa in this situation. And I don't feel great going into that. Now, with that being said, if Nebraska came out and won that game, would I be surprised? Honestly, at this point, nothing would surprise me. Literally nothing would surprise me. But it just goes to show you that if you wanted that one final win this season, if you wanted that one to kind of point to and say, hey, this is something that the fan base can build off of, the coaches, the players, all that, that was it. And it feels like they had it, and it just completely collapsed. And it was just more of the same. And Skittles says this, I've checked out on this program. It's the same rerun over and over and over again, and it's exhausting. It is exhausting. And I've only been here for 2 years of it. And I think that I've seen probably the 2 years bottom out wise. I would say this is probably the bottom. And I've only seen it. I haven't seen it from the top and then it falling down to what it is now. But it's one of those times that it will turn around. It will turn. It always does. Like every program goes through tough spells. Is this one a little bit worse than most programs? Probably, just because of where you started. When you're at the very top, the very bottom feels even worse. But at the same time, programs go through this. It'll turn back around. It's just how many times are you going to keep getting beaten down? I think that's the frustrating part. And I don't have the answer to that. And Bach's going to stick around too. We'll talk about, we got to do shootout with Bach, but we'll talk about this in the next hour too, because I definitely want to talk about kind of the progression and then what happens now, because that's the biggest question is I don't know if Nebraska's ever been in this position where there is no solution really. Like what if someone has a solution that fixes this, I would love to hear it, because I don't know what it is. And I hope that it turns around sooner than later. But again, we'll get into that. There's something's going to change, and it's going to happen sooner than later, and we're going to find out what it is, and we're going to talk about it. So make sure you stick with us. Shootout with Bach coming up next. Your chance to win $15 Buffalo Wings and Rings. 402-464-5685 Honda Blinken Hotline. Give us a call. We'll be right back on the block. 937 The Ticket.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world: St. Andrews, Beach, so the best of the best. You can play those courses and more without ever leaving the city of Lincoln at Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
I'm dreaming of
Winning thousands of dollars.
just like the ones.
The Nebraska Lottery is giving away.
May your days be merry and bright,
When you enter the Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion,
and may all your holidays
be filled with lots and lots of cash.
I'm dreaming of
Entering non-winning Nebraska Lottery Holiday Wishes scratch tickets.
just like the ones.
You can find at any Nebraska Lottery retailer.
May your days be merry and bright.
How could they not, with chances to win $1,000, $5,000, or even $10,000?
And may all your Christmases be
Green.
There are 2 drawings for winners, so visit your nearest Nebraska Lottery retailer today. Buy some tickets and enter our Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion. Promotion ends January 4th, 2023. Top prize odds vary by game.
Don't let high interest rates get you down. Acres has you covered. For a limited time, Acres, the nation's largest combine dealer, is giving you 2% fixed rate financing for 60 months on select used combines. With this incredible offer, you could save thousands. Visit your local Acres location or acres.com to check out the widest selection of low-model combines available. Don't wait. The great deal runs out at the end of November. Subject to finance approval. Some restrictions apply. Offer ends November 30th, 2022.
Hey guys, Nick Sadert here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Spine and Sports Chiropractic. I experienced a herniated disc in my lower back a few years ago, and thanks to the folks at Spine and Sports, I got back to feeling 100%. At Spine and Sports, they use the active release technique, which involves the soft tissue and can alleviate headaches, shoulder pain, plantar fasciitis, and more. What I like most about the ART method is that your doctor will construct a plan that fits your needs because the technique is not a cookie-cutter approach. Allow Spine and Sports Chiropractic to help you feel better. Set up your appointment today by giving them a call at 402-261-6841.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat. Different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben sandwich or the prime rib French dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
It's Championship Monday, and it's time to crown the Class A state title winner tonight at 7:15 p.m. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me tonight from Memorial Stadium for the Class A state championship game between the 11-1 Omaha Westside Warriors and the 12-0 Gretna Dragons. Tonight's game will feature 2 high-powered offenses as Westside comes in averaging around 42 points per game, while Gretna averages 39 points per game. Oklahoma State quarterback commit Zane Flores continues his impressive season for the Dragons, completing 67% of his passes and throwing 28 touchdowns on the season. For the Warrior, led by dual quarterback Anthony Rizak, who has over 1,800 yards through the air and over 1,000 rushing yards on the ground, for a total of 35 touchdowns in the 2022 season. These two teams met last year in the 2021 state title game that ended in a 7-3 Gretna victory, but then the Dragons were forced to vacate the 2021 title due to an ineligible player on their roster. Can Westside get revenge this time around? Find out as the kickoff is scheduled for 7:15 p.m. with the pregame show starting at 7 p.m. from Memorial Stadium. And you can hear all the action unfold in the Class A state championship game right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certification. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
A good with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tail great pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street in Meridian Park or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
That is correct. It is time to play the game. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Normally, all you have to do is beat the Husker Hall of Famer. 5 questions for him, 5 for you. But today, we have a Jake Bakoven, a little reunion of the Ticket water cooler today, and he is the one that you're going to have to beat in order to win the chicken. So give us a call, 402-464-5685. Honda of Lincoln Hotline. And I know normally people don't want to face off against you, Bach, because you always end up winning, and usually it's college football or basketball, and you're usually pretty good at this. But the one benefit that we have, and also United States Wales World Cup will officially end in a 1-1 draw. Don't ask me how that's a thing or how that's possible, but they ended in a draw. So that's
is that good?
I don't know. This is the one time I watch soccer, and I get very into it because I love the United States, but I don't understand how this works now. Yeah. So someone that's smarter than me will have to explain that to me. But Bach, I think this might be one of your kryptonite games.
Uh-oh.
So hopefully that means that someone will win the chicken, and we currently have someone on the line too. So someone must feel pretty confident about beating you as well. Or maybe they just want to talk trash because usually it's strict, but maybe someone wants to talk trash to you. So we will go to the Honda of Lincoln Hotline where we've got Neil. Neil, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Is driving.
Oh, well, that's how we know you won't be using the Google machine, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm driving by your studio right now.
Oh, well, we appreciate that you're not going to be using a Google. Neil, I will ask you this before we get into Shootout with Bach. I don't want to give away too much information, but how much have you been following this year's World Cup?
0% besides the United States.
All right, perfect, because that also is the same category as Bach, so that'll probably put you guys in the same position here. So, Neil, you know how this works. Stay on the line. We got to get Bach's answers first to see how many points you have to get in order to win the chicken. All right, Bach, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. They kicked off the World Cup with a win over Qatar, Canada, or Ecuador.
Ecuador.
That is correct. They defeated Senegal earlier today. Netherlands or Germany?
Netherlands.
That is correct. They're a heavy favorite over Australia tomorrow. Portugal or France?
Portugal.
Nope, it's France.
Darn it.
Poland kicks off the World Cup against this country. Croatia or Mexico?
Croatia.
It's Mexico. And they are the United States' last matchup in the group stage.
England. Not England. What's the other one that's in there? No, I can't remember.
Unfortunately, Bach, that would be incorrect. That'll leave you with 2 points. Actually, kind of impressive at the first. I was like, is he going to run the table here?
Yeah.
No, it was pretty good. It's actually Iran.
Yeah.
Iran. So you might have given away the money ball to Neil, but that's okay. All right, we will head back to the Honda Blinken hotline where we have Neil. Neil, how you feeling now? 2 points to tie, 3 in order to win.
I mean, I got a 50% chance. I don't really know anything about it.
Well, that's all right because that was how Bach was doing it, and you got 2 points. So are you ready, Neil?
Yes, sir.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. They defeated Iran earlier today. England or Portugal?
England.
That is correct. They kick off tomorrow's matches against Saudi Arabia, Argentina, or Spain?
Argentina.
That's correct. They're heavy underdogs against Brazil on Thursday. Japan or Serbia?
Serbia.
That is correct. They kick off the Group G matches against Cameroon, Ghana, or Switzerland?
Switzerland.
That is correct for the sweep. Who does the United States face on Friday?
I didn't even hear what you said.
Who does the United States play on Friday?
Mexico.
Oh, it's England, but still a very impressive showing, Neil. You have rightfully deserved these.
Boom shakalaka. Finish him. Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
Well, you certainly know your soccer, or as they say overseas, football. Neil, would you like to talk some trash to Bach?
I can't talk trash, and it was 100% all guesses. It's all good.
Well, fair enough. Neil, stay on the line. We'll make sure that Rico gets your win today and gets you the chicken. So
if Neil would have got
congrats to
that money
Neil.
ball, I think we would have had to call him later, to break down the soccer match.
Yeah, I guess he would be our soccer
He's
expert.
our expert,
Yeah, I guess so. That was pretty impressive by Neil. All right, Buck, I'll give you the tiebreaker because why not? So Christian Pulisic, you probably know him. He is the star player for the United States. He's played in the Premier League for 4 years now. In that time span, how many goals has he scored?
I don't know how many games they play, so I can't really break
I don't know
this
either.
down.
I can't even explain it to you.
Probably 36.
36. It would be under. He has scored 20.
Oh. And he's the best guy on the team.
He's the best guy on the team, yeah, and he scored 20. Well, the Premier League, from my understanding, the Premier League's the best league in the world.
Yeah.
So 20? Sure.
Maybe that's
Sounds
pretty good.
good.
I'm not
I
sure.
guess that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Second hour on the block. Coming up next, we'll get into some more Nebraska football and basketball talk for you. Stay with us on the block, 937 The Ticket.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska golf team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer, or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you could earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings, sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money, but like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money. Now I'm taking control of my financial saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your times. WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is On the Block with Strick and Nate. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
And Hokie Homer turned Husker, Nathan Brennan.
Everyone knows that I'm the smartest person here.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Nate.
A very happy Friday, a very happy overreaction Friday. You're listening to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. My name's Nate Brennan. He is not the Husker Hall of Famer 9-year NBA vet, but he is Jake Bakovin stepping in. A little water cooler reunion of sorts.
It's Monday, by
in
the way.
Good old days. Did I say Friday?
You did twice.
My God, I'm already ready for this week to be over, I guess. Now let's just face Iowa. Let's get to it. Let's see how the season ends. and just call it a wrap. Make it end.
That way we can wrap it all up. Finally see
One
the
way or
next
the
head
other.
coaches. I've heard three different things again today.
I guess I'm ready for Friday.
Yeah.
Let's just wrap it up and see what happens.
See, I love Iowa Hate Week, so we kind of just
There you go. Well, no,
every
you
day
love
is
Iowa.
another day of Iowa.
Well, no, you
Hate
also
Week.
love Iowa.
I also love Iowa. Yeah. Well, I learned to, and the truth is about all this is I learned to embrace the Big Ten West and its playing style when Nebraska joined it. So I studied it, watched it, learned something about myself. I enjoy some low scoring, hard
and I hate
football.
it. I genuinely, really just do not like it, but that's okay because to each his own. 402-464-5685 Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln hotline. As always, we want to hear from you. You can also check us out on the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Interact with us on all of those platforms as well. So, Bach, I guess we can just keep it rolling. We talked about it earlier, how the game ended, and the best way that I can possibly say to fans after this is just I'm sorry, because it's just constant and it just keeps – it's like you just keep taking body blows and it just keeps coming. And that was, like I told you, that was probably the one that hurt the most in the past 2 years. And Nebraska fans have had a lot of hurt in the past 2 years. That one probably hurt the most. That one was just tough to watch. So it brings up the question, and I want to know what you guys think too. And if you have any questions for us, as always, just let us know. Because my biggest question now is where do you go from here? So we've speculated for an entire season, and the craziest part about this is that however long or however short the season has been, however you have interpreted this past season, to me, it seems like it's been 10 years from going from starting the season in Ireland against Northwestern, losing that game, and Northwestern still only has one win on the season. It's probably going to end that way, for crying out loud. But from that moment to now has been a lifetime. It has felt like forever. I'm ready for this to be over. I'm ready for it to just move forward. And the biggest question now is, what does that move forward look like? I think that now we're talking about probably an outside hire. But then the question needs to be asked, and I know this isn't a reason that you keep a guy as the head coaching position, but recruiting has still been happening through Mickey Joseph. And I'm assuming that those players that are committing to Nebraska in some capacity are saying yes for Mickey Joseph. And I know that that's not entirely the case. Some guys might be recruiting to the university. They might be recruiting to the facilities, NIL. There's so many factors that go into a player saying yes at the University of Nebraska. But I'm assuming Mickey has some type of say in those guys saying yes. So there's recruiting you have to look at. There's a fan base now. I know that we've had a few people on the text line that saying they've completely checked out. Yeah. Now, I think that once we get into next season, there's a new coach. There's a little bit more buzz. I think that's going to change. But you have to look at the direction of the program and what's happened over the past 2 years. It's been nothing short of a dumpster fire. It's been a train wreck. And it just begs the question, and I'll toss it to you, Bach, because I'm curious to see what you have to say, because this is such an open-ended question that literally, where does Nebraska go from here?
Yeah, and I'll respond again with something I saw over the weekend. In I don't know where Sam McEwen was going with this article, but he obviously always writes great articles. It wasn't this article; it was just a tweet he had, right. Which was that basically the top 4 teams in the Pac-12 would beat each team in the Big Ten West by 21, 35 points, whatever he put out there. And it might be true, but
I still don't. That might be a little premature.
But the point that where I would rebuttal that is I just hope that Nebraska doesn't get lost in that again, because we've done that. They've tried the West Coast, Mike Riley, right. Scott Frost as well. I mean, this flashy different offense to try to keep up with the coastal teams.
And now you have 2 of those teams coming to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And putting more pressure on that style.
Which is just interesting. But I again say, at some point you can't be trying to, do your best to imitate Ohio State when you're getting shellacked week in and week out by the same type of teams in the Big Ten West. They have to embrace the Big Ten West in my mind, and then build from there, because I think they have the highest ceiling. And again, to that Sam McEwen point too, I think this is an outlier every year. The Pac-12 generally doesn't have the strength at the top that they do this year. The Big Ten West, it's definitely hit or miss from year to year, but there's been a lot stronger years where you have, top end teams. They've had twice in the last 5 years or whatever it was, where they had like 3 teams in the top 15. So that might be the case this year, but I just hope that doesn't start to get more attention, or that mind thought, or that process that, Nebraska needs to try to keep up with UCLA at this point. But like you said, it is really hard. And one of the biggest fascinating part of this hire too is that all that I just said about the Big Ten West and where Nebraska has been beaten and how they need to get back to looking like that sort of team, that's all true until they get paired with USC and UCLA in the next pod.
Right.
So it's like, if you're Nebraska,
Right.
this is not a great time, to be honest with you, if you're in the Big Ten, to make a coaching hire, because you don't know what your schedule is going to look like 2 years from now. And particularly for Nebraska, just geographically, it's again a question where it's like, if you have USC and UCLA regularly year after year, both those teams on your schedule, that might change how you approach this hire if you have Wisconsin and Minnesota year in and year out on your schedule. So it's just, it's interesting, but overall, I think that's the Big Ten. You're going to see a lot of that again, regionally, because Nebraska is closer to a lot of those teams, and it's just the region. Nebraska won a lot of games by being the tough, physical team that then was able to recruit above that and get, some skill position players in.
Develop.
Yeah. And I just think that's the way to do it in the Midwest. And it might not be flashy, and you might get blown out in some bowl games when you go play warm weather teams in Florida from time to time. But you never get that opposite thing. You never bring USC or UCLA or Florida or Miami, one of those teams, to the Midwest, where these teams have to play November football. They have to play, even getting into October, end of October. It's a different style that you have to play. So in my mind, if I'm Nebraska, I look at what's been working for all the teams around it. I look how you've been beaten by those teams, and I go back to a Big Ten West style of play. And maybe that's not the sexiest. Maybe some people don't feel like that has the top ceiling, but before you still start thinking about being 9 and 10 win teams, you've got to take care of business against these teams that have done it the same way against you for years. And granted, a lot of these games have been close, but this is a line of scrimmage league where Nebraska has been losing for years.
And I think it's, when you talk about that, Wisconsin and Iowa are probably the two examples that you go to. But this is always the pushback that I've had against you, Bach, is that I know that right now Wisconsin and Iowa looks like an ideal situation. Okay, win 8 games, go to a decent bowl, maybe go to a Big Ten championship or 2. My only hesitancy towards that is that you end up in another situation like Bo Pelini, where after 5 to 10 years of that, you're looking at yourself and saying, okay, this isn't what we want. This was great temporarily, but I just think what's so interesting is that Nebraska's in such a weird spot right now, because I agree with you. I think when you look at the ceiling of teams in the Big Ten West, I know it hasn't showed over the last few seasons, but I'd say they probably have the highest ceiling. When you talk about NIL, facilities, fan support,
does, yeah.
Nebraska, I think Nebraska has the highest ceiling, and I know it's great for fans to look at it and say, we'll take an 8 or 9 win season. And at this point in time, yeah, absolutely you will. But at what point does that say, okay, now we got to take that next step? And I just worry that if you end up with like a team like Wisconsin or an Iowa, you're always going to be in that revolving door of 8, 9 wins. And you're never going to be able to take that next step.
But
forward.
like you were saying, and my idea behind it all along is that Nebraska has a higher ceiling than that. I mean, think about Wisconsin even this year. If they got Caleb Williams, remember those 2 weeks when we thought about Caleb Williams going there?
Yeah.
Remember when they had Russell Wilson? I mean, these are very short periods of time of things that could potentially happen or did happen. I was kind of the same way. Just, my God, give Phil Parker an offense and see what that guy can do, because it's ridiculous what he has to go through. But again, I wouldn't hit the transfer portal. So there's certain things that Nebraska would be able to do. But again, to me, once you have that mentality, once you have that line and scrimmage type of mentality in your program, from there you can build and make the switches. In Wisconsin and Iowa, and these teams have done that. They've tried to at times. Iowa to a less degree. They're just kind of sticking where they're at. But Wisconsin has tried, even up in this year, to kind of switch up the offense that they bring in. And so I think there is, once you get to that 8, 9 wins and you're stuck there for few years, that is, that would be the idea to kind of bring it. But to me, your program doesn't fall off too much if you bring somebody in and that's what they're going to run, handing it over to the next guy is like, okay, well, I've already got some things set in place.
Right.
As opposed to just trying a flashy offense. And we've seen it here under Mike Riley, and it'll be the same thing under Scott Frost. You're handing it off to the next guy, just like, there's not really anything really in place here.
It's a mess.
Yeah, good
it's
luck.
Literally
you
a
have
mess.
to build everything.
And it's just a mess. And This is why it's just such an interesting conversation, why it's so tough to talk about, because like we talk about all these scenarios, and I think what's most interesting about it too is that under normal circumstances, if you look at a 3-9 team, you'd say that look at how far that team is from being towards the top. Well, honestly, I would say Nebraska isn't as far as we think, really. You look at this team, and it looks like for a second year in a row, they're going to go 3-9. You can't tell me that they're not competitive with the teams at the top. You can look at Wisconsin. Wisconsin, you had beat until the fourth quarter. Look at Purdue. You went on the road against Purdue in an interim head coach's fourth week on the job, and you competed in whatever their play style was, the air it out, controlled possession, which they did. You still competed. Look at Minnesota. You went in there with the quarterback that probably shouldn't have been on the field, and you were up at 10-0 at halftime. So I think the one fine line and the one thing that we can look at in Nebraska, and a lot of fans probably aren't going to agree with this because it's recency bias is a thing, and I know the fan base is frustrated. I don't think you're as far away as a lot of people think that you are. And I think that is a little bit refreshing, but at the same time, at some point, this team is going to have to show that in a one-possession game, you can actually win.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to have to.
It's just
You
hard
have
to tell that because I agree with you. There's a lot of close losses, a lot of things that would lead you to believe that despite the chaos, Nebraska isn't that far away. Now, you don't want to hear close at all. They're not close.
No, I wouldn't say close, but I don't think they're as
3-9,
far off.
When you're close and you're losing all these one-possession games, what are you close to? 4-8, 5-7?
No, but I don't think
get
you're as far to a Wisconsin or Iowa as you would think.
Right. I mean,
when you look at simply the record at 3-9, and I know that's what everyone cares about, and that's what everyone looks at, but I would not say that you're a typical 3-9 football team. Like look at Northwestern, for example. Northwestern is, I know this year they're going to go 1-11 for crying out loud. The fact that one win is Nebraska, fine. But I would say Northwestern is probably your typical 3-9 program. They're not very good. They haven't really shown that they can play at a high level against good teams. And literally, if you're saying where's Northwestern go from here, I have no clue because they're not going to get rid of their head coach, and they still have significant issues on the offensive side of the ball. But I think that Nebraska isn't as far off as people think. But this is the last thing I'll go before we head to break, and we ask Brian Munson some of these questions and ask him about the recruiting, because the recruiting is probably one of the most fascinating parts to me, because I think that Mickey Joseph being the top tier recruiter that he is, and him still being on the recruiting trail, and now you're going to make a switch one way or the other, I think that'll be interesting. What do you think happens with Mickey Joseph? Because I personally, I think that there's not going to be a bidding war, but I think people are going to come calling, and I think that he's going to be offered a pretty good job.
Well,
truthfully,
yeah, and
that's just my opinion. I might be very wrong, but that's the way that
I think he's going to get offers. I don't know if they're going to be head coaching offers at this point, but he's definitely going to get offers everywhere. And I know Nebraska fans already know this, but that's the type of guy that when you talk about a base Big Ten offense or whatever, if you can add him into the mixture and get those stud wide receivers, that elevates you quite a bit. So,
I agree.
I mean, that's exactly who Nebraska needs to keep around. Has been too much damage about, his hopes getting up to be the head coach, and maybe, doesn't want to look, the next coach doesn't want to look over his shoulder, all that stuff that might come into play. But that's Nebraska's going to have to do everything they can to try to keep him.
In any capacity, too. I don't know what that role would look like. I don't know what that position would look like. I would assume that it would come with a raise because he's been getting underpaid all season for what he's been put through and this team's been put through. But it'll be interesting, and that's why it's such a fascinating conversation. I'm really got my eyes peeled on to when this announcement comes, because is Mickey still in the running? I don't know. But I don't know who's in the running at this point. It's all just speculation. So when does that announcement get made? Last year, we saw the Scott Frost announcement got made, a Tuesday last year? Was it the Tuesday before the game? So was that basically tomorrow in last year's terms? I don't know. Is that when it comes? Who knows? All right, we'll talk to Brian Munson next. Still a lot to unpack with this Nebraska football situation. Stick with us on the block, 93.7 The Ticket.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 9th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming back.
How do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory at MikeMullenMotors.com.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tailgate pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
Get an immediate look back at the game from the people who know it best. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word live from Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Hear from former players and national champions like Jay Foreman, Rashawn Jackson, and Aaron Davis and see what they saw in that day's game. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word. Live and in person, home or away at Tanner's Bar and Grill, brought to you by Bauer Infrastructure. Only here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Megan Whitaker from the Nebraska golf team. If you've put your clubs away for the winter, it's time to get them back out. There's no need to stop thanks to Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle is home to Lincoln's best indoor golf simulators. It's perfect for every level of golfer, with everything from casual games for the kids to hyper-realistic simulations of some of the best courses in the world. And the best part, no matter what the weather's doing outside, it's always golf weather inside. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and I'm back with Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, you said to me earlier you have a lot going on at the dealership. Can you tell our listeners about it?
Sure can, Charlie. As I've said before, if you don't see a vehicle on our lot that you're looking for, it's probably on its way soon.
So, how many new Hondas do you have in stock or on the way?
We have a total of over 325, Charlie, with the great selection of Pilots and Ridgelines in stock right now.
Well, we have been talking about the Honda of Lincoln way of buying cars for several months. How is that going?
People love it. We're buying all makes and models, whether they purchase the car from us or not. I mean, really, it's a no hassle, and we will pay them cash on the same day.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers.
This is Todd Riley with American Senior Benefits. If you qualify for Medicare, then you're probably getting bombarded with information right now about different options during the annual election period. It can all be incredibly overwhelming. We're here to help. The experts at American Senior Benefits can help you navigate all of your options and make the best decision for you. You can reach out via our Facebook page, American Senior Benefits Lincoln, or call me directly at 402-413-9510. Let us help you make an informed decision at American Senior Benefits.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block on a Monday, not a Friday, despite what I might have said earlier. We are ready for Friday because we are ready for Nebraska versus Iowa just to see how this season wraps up. I know everyone is certainly excited to see the next steps for Nebraska. Trev Alberts in this program. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln Hotline. Nate Brennan, Jake Bakoven hopping in here as well. We always want to hear your thoughts. Also, you can over to the Starter Heyman video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Interact with us on all of those platforms as well. And we're going to head to the Honda Lincoln Hotline, and we're going to bring him in. Brian Munson, Husker Online on 3 Network. Brian, what's going on?
Hey, guys. I'm up here in the motherland just enjoying this beautiful weather and happened to catch that draw between Wales and USA, too. That was a tough game to watch.
Yeah, we just finished watching it here in the studio. Nick was trying to break it down and tell us what was happening, but believe it or not, he has no clue what's going on, especially when it comes to soccer. So I don't know what he was trying to break down, but he's one of those guys. I'll be the first to tell you, I don't know what's going on in the game. I just know you get the ball in the net in Nebraska, or excuse me, now we're about to just go into Nebraska because we've been talking about that too, Brian. But I know that if United States scores more points than Wales, they win, and they tied. So we know that's going on. Brian Munson, Husker Online on 3. Brian, this is the question that I've been asking Bach, and I just want to start out by asking you this. What are the next steps for Nebraska? Because here we are sitting again, that it's a horrible, tough loss, one that really hurt this fan base. And I think since I've been here over the past 2 years, that was probably the toughest one to swallow that I've seen so far in this past 2 years. So what happens next for Nebraska?
Well, you pick yourself up and you get ready for the next one on a shortened weekend of all things too.
Right, exactly.
I just, I agree with you. Tough one to lose just because of where Nebraska was at, such a commanding position.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact, of course, that, Nebraska, it's been so long since Nebraska has beat the Badgers, and they haven't. Right. They have them. Yeah. And it's really one of the more frustrating things because, honestly, I was just talking about this with my son. I really felt like, Illinois was incredibly winnable until Casey went down. You had there's another game in there too that I was mentioning. Minnesota that was incredibly winnable as well. And it's just like it felt like it was that third game that Nebraska, could have added on top of Rutgers and Indiana with Mickey Joseph as the head coach.
Right.
And it just every single time it's like not only just are they going to lose it, they're going to lose in some heartbreaking, crushing type of style, and it's gonna deflate you. But if you're in Nebraska right now, you're playing for pride. You've been playing for pride basically, since Georgia Southern, and now all of a sudden you're looking at your last game of the season. A lot of times this is the last time a lot of these guys are ever going to play again. So you want to go out there and play for those guys, and I think that this is another very winnable football game.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I always get excited for Nebraska, Iowa, regardless. But the frustration, obviously, again, really, especially in this game, was that Nebraska could not get a traditional running game going, which leads a lot of people to understanding and knowing, and we've known it for weeks. And you don't want to be too hard on the kids that are playing out there, but that the offensive line, if you talk about a rebuild, whoever the next coach is, that feels like that's the spot they need to. Not only do they need to start, but maybe has the longest way to go. From the recruiting world, now throwing the transfer portal, the JUCO market, do you see, can you quick fix the offensive line or in modern day football, or is that like a 3 to 4 year process?
Oh, no, I think you can quick fix that for sure. I think Illinois was sporting a couple of transfers. I know that it seemed like every week that Nebraska was out there, they were playing against a transfer or two that happened to be starting for another, a Big Ten football team. So if you go out there with the idea that you need two, transfer guys, it doesn't matter. You prefer one tackle, one interior guy, then you can go out there and get your junior college guys on top of that. I think Nebraska, is doing the right thing here. I think that they're staying on top of all the kids, particularly in the Jayhawk League that they had offered here in the last month and a half. I think Coach Applewhite has been kind of doing that really, really, really well. I mentioned today chat on Red Sea Scrolls on Husker Online that I really felt like there's going to be some more junior college offensive linemen that should be getting some new attention from Nebraska this week. And I would look towards Mississippi. I really feel like there's going to be a couple guys that are going to get, maybe particularly, pick up an offer, and I think Nebraska is in a good spot with some of those junior college kids, obviously because they're going to be in the playoffs for the most part. So that'll be helpful too to kind of get some more time back for Nebraska, so they can get it back in later on here in the month of December.
Brian Munson, Husker Online on 3, joining us right now. Brian, we're talking about the recruiting aspect of things, and from what you've heard from talking to recruits and kind of what's been happening, the fluidity of this coaching situation, just the fragility really of the program right now. Do you think many dominoes are going to fall recruiting maybe in Nebraska's favor, maybe not so much in Nebraska's favor? I mean, what do these next couple months look like for the Cornhuskers? Because we're looking at now, in just a few days, Nebraska season is going to be over, and that's going to be the focus.
Yeah, it gets really, really strange very quickly. And it's very easy to kind of map out, but like the chaos that happens during those times, I mean, it happens very, very suddenly. So kind of looking back at this a little bit, junior college football except for 4 teams is over with. Only 4 teams are going to march on to the playoffs. Oh, wow. That'll start this next weekend, right? So you've got basically kids that were prolonging or delaying taking any type of visits that are junior college guys until after their season was over with. Well, now they're able to do that. And then you got to wait on those other 4 teams basically for 2 more weeks. And actually there may be a week off in between there too. I don't think they get done until like the 12th or the 13th or something like that in December. So there's a little bit more time there, I think, in between for them to kind of finish out their season. But regardless, you've got some junior college guys now that are done. So you already have one kind of casualty, in that regard, because Quantrell Travis was supposed to officially visit last weekend, and Nebraska canceled on him. And they basically told him, hey, without a head coach, we're not going to bring you in. We'll bring you in later on. And now his team is in the playoffs, so it'll be a little while until he can come back. But obviously now, if you're still stuck, in kind of that rut with not having a head coach, you can then go ahead and chalk up this weekend, or not really this weekend, but it could be the weekend after, especially if you, like in conference championship time, you're going to not have a chance to bring in anybody that weekend either. So it gets more and more expensive as we kind of march along. And obviously the big thing here that everybody has kind of circled on their calendar is December 4th. December 4th really makes that last day where it makes sense for Nebraska to announce a head coach, because December 5th, the portal opens up. And there is so much for Nebraska to do when it comes to evaluating the current class, which ones the new head coach wants to keep, which guys are going to go ahead and cut loose potentially, what happens with the roster and evaluating the roster, and who's going to move on from Nebraska. I mean, things are going to be totally crazy for basically those 3 or 4 weeks in the month of December. I'm kind of giddy, and all of a sudden kind of scared about how busy potentially I'll be in the month of December.
I think, busy times ahead for you. I do want to ask you this. It's 3:40 here on Monday. Do you think that now is the time is just about past for Nebraska not to be going after a sitting coach? I know that there's some rumors out there, another coach that's not currently coaching, but with it extending likely after the Iowa week, do you think that means it's more than likely a sitting coach?
More than likely, yeah. I think as you get past this weekend, if there's not an announcement, it's a sitting coach. And I think, honestly, I know Trev Alberts doesn't want to make this whole thing to be a distraction. I don't think he wants to do it for the guys on the team. I don't think he wants to embarrass or make the current coaching staff feel bad. I know that they had worked, incredibly hard. Some of those guys, with what they were doing with coaching and recruiting and on the road when they were on their bye weeks with no head coach and still just, doing their jobs, it's admirable. Never seen that happen before. Never had that happen before. So I know that Trev is being respectful to them. So I think that there's some folks that feel like it could be as early as Saturday. But as you get through this weekend here, I honestly believe then you're talking about a sitting head coach. And then you're looking at hopefully then the Sunday after what would be like conference championship day, conference championship Saturday on that December 3rd. So you would hopefully then make an announcement on the 4th. He gets to work on the 4th, and hopefully then you're doing some sort of announcement on the 5th, and he's hard at work by then, right? So it's a really, really compact timeline, but there are some keys here, like you mentioned, that you can start reading and making sense of here if the announcement doesn't happen this weekend.
Brian Munson on 3 Husker Online joining us right now. Brian, how do you evaluate the senior ceremonies and everything that happened this weekend? Because I think that we knew that there were some seniors that were going to be walking, participating in activities, festivities, all that good stuff, but there were quite a few. I mean, and you can even throw out some names that a lot of Husker fans probably didn't expect to be participating in some of that too. So how do you evaluate that from not only the players on the field and who's going to be returning, but then on the recruiting side of things as well?
Yeah, I think that there was some uncertainty about, there's some uncertainty obviously about Nebraska's situation. I think that they want to they're kind of playing both sides of it right now, and I totally get that. I think that there's some coaches that are on the current staff that if they decided that they're going to get retained and they decide that they're going to stick around, that some more guys are going to want to stay there. I'm talking, of course, like Casey Thompson and Trey Palmer and Mickey Joseph is retained. I think that there's some big guys. I mean, like Coach Applewhite. Think about what Coach Applewhite's done in the running backs room really quick, because I was telling somebody else about that this morning. I said everybody thought that room was like full of dudes, and he brings in 2 new guys, and Anthony Grant probably goes pro. But what happens to AJ Allen in particular? Like if Coach Applewhite decides he's going to take off, so I think that there's just a level of uncertainty. They wanted to have that. They wanted to have that opportunity, which I totally get it.
Absolutely.
But I think that there's a chance, obviously, that some of those guys will come back.
Well, it's interesting when you think, and I don't know if you have the answer to this, but I'm just kind of thinking it through my head. With Casey Thompson and O'Shawn Mathis, if those guys walk, does that open up NIL money? Because it's hard to understand. It's not like NIL money is like a 2-year or 1-year deal, but you kind of think that those guys are the guys that made a lot of the NIL deals coming in as transfer players. I'm wondering if that opens up. Nebraska's now a little bit more fully loaded, or do they still owe money to those guys? It's hard. I mean, you can't track it at all. It's fascinating to kind of think as we still try to learn about NIL.
Yeah, I don't understand quite where that kind of puts them at when it comes to their obligations and where they're getting their money from and where it's coming from. But it's certainly an interesting topic, because I think that what they're going to want to have to understand really quick is that, hey, look, if you're walking, but really you're waiting and you just want to have that opportunity, you're going to need to know here, pretty quick, after the head coach is announced, whether or not you're sticking or you're leaving, because I'm going to need the car keys and the apartment, and it just gets. That's a real sticky part of that whole equation. Honestly, I mean, I never really thought about that before.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make of it either. But you did point something out. You think that Anthony Grant's going to turn pro? Do you think that he would get drafted at this point?
I think that there's I think that obviously what you're looking at there is his age, number one. I think number 2, I think it's one of those things that's like a Rex Burkhead. I'm not trying to compare him to Rex Burkhead, but I mean, I remember talking to Rick Burkhead a lot about it and the decision that Rex was making. And I think, when Rex decided to go pro, it was really like the other question was, I can come back, but what do I need to do to really improve my draft stock so much? And what happens if I get hurt again? And I think that the question, obviously, with Anthony Grant is that, he's 23. And I think that obviously you're trying to keep some tread on the tires. I do think that there's some draft value. I don't think it's like day 1. It may not even be day 2, but I think it's payday. And I think it's an opportunity for him, because I think he's going to run well. I think he's going to do a lot of other things well that they're going to be looking for. And I think obviously that age thing is going to kind of get in the way a little bit and the lack of production. But I think obviously he's gonna test really well, and he's gonna go out there and do a good job. So I think that's gonna be the best that he can kind of hope for. He needs to try to make a roster.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too, because I think there's a lot more moving pieces here than a lot of Husker fans even realize at the end of it. Brian, we're running out of time. We know you're a busy man, but if people want to get more great content from you, because like you said, recruiting really going to start ramping up here in the next few weeks. People want to get more great content from you and your team. How can they do so?
Absolutely. Get on over to Husker Online. I think it's 10 months for $25.
Ooh.
And I've got 2 more offer stories coming this evening, maybe tomorrow as well from the weekend. But you got 3 more offers from the previous weekend, and all the stuff that Sip and Sean did from this last weekend, and Robin. It's all still up out there, and a good chat today to talk about all the head coaching search stuff too. And there's some good news on there about Chris Kleiman today too. So get over there and check it out.
Brian, I have a feeling no matter what happens this week, we'll have plenty to talk about next Monday. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you next week.
Have a great holiday, guys, you and all your listeners.
Yep, you too, Brian. Thank you, as always. There he goes, Brian Munson. Great stuff over there. Husker Online, and a lot of good information, good content, too, because like he said, recruiting really going to start picking up here soon. And with as many seniors that walked in the recruiting and the coaching search, I mean, there's going to be a lot of moving pieces for Nebraska one way or the other. So it'll definitely be something to keep in mind. Husker Online is the website. Brian Munson, our very own Steve Sipple, too. So they got a great crew over there at Husker Online. We got to take a quick break. I see DP's in the building. Jay Foreman on the way. We're going to have a little crossover action right here on The Ticket. Stay with us. You'll listen on the block. 93.7 The Ticket.
Crazy.
The World Cup is back, and Lincoln has great places to watch all the great soccer action. Rosie's downtown at 10th and P and Captain Jack's at 12th and P have teamed up with American Outlaws for watch parties to cheer on the USA. Matches go all week long, but make sure to stop by on Black Friday for USA versus England. Rosie's and Captain Jack's will both be open at the 11th, and stick around to watch the Nebraska-Iowa game right after. It's the World Cup at Rosie's downtown and Captain Jack's with the American Outlaws. A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tail great pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
This is Todd Riley with American Senior Benefits. If you qualify for Medicare, then you're probably getting bombarded with information right now about different options during the annual election period. It can all be incredibly overwhelming. We're here to help. The experts at American Senior Benefits can help you navigate all of your options and make the best decision for you. You can reach out via our Facebook page, American Senior Benefits Lincoln, or call me directly at 402-413-9510. Let us help you make an informed decision at American Senior Benefits.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and I'm back with Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, you said to me earlier you have a lot going on at the dealership. Can you tell our listeners about it?
Sure can, Charlie. As I've said before, if you don't see a vehicle on our lot that you're looking for, it's probably on its way soon.
So, how many new Hondas do you have in stock or on the way?
We have a total of over 325, Charlie, with a great selection of Pilots and Ridgelines in stock right now.
Well, we have been talking about the Honda of Lincoln way of buying cars for several months. How is that going?
People love it. We're buying all makes and models, whether they purchase the car from us or not. I mean, really, it's a no hassle, and we will pay them cash on the same day.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com. TicketFM.com.
The Heartland Diamond from Sartor Heyman Jewelers was born from an unrelenting desire for more sparkle. Designed to shine as bright as your love, the difference between the Heartland and the traditional cut is clearly visible with the naked eye. By adding 32 additional facets, our skilled craftsmen have created a masterpiece, a diamond that truly reflects your passion and desire. Stop in and see the brilliance of the Heartland Diamond for yourself, exclusively at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
This is Megan Whitaker from the Nebraska golf team. If you've put your clubs away for the winter, it's time to get them back out. There's no need to stop thanks to Double Eagle Golf. Double Eagle is home to Lincoln's best indoor golf simulators. It's perfect for every level of golfer, with everything from casual games for the kids to hyper-realistic simulations of some of the best courses in the world. And the best part, no matter what the weather's doing outside, it's golf inside. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
Now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Nate on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. The Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet, doing what he does, out and about, kissing babies, shaking hands, doing what he does best. But it's all good because we still got a great lineup, as we always do. Jake Bakoven, Derek Pearson, DP, both in the house joining me for On the Block, 93.7 The Ticket. 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Name and Text Line. We want to hear from you as always. You can always check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter as well. Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream. DP, what's going on?
Man, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Like, I've been out of the loop. I have been out of the loop. Let me give a shout out to the good people at Brian's Health. The good people. The really good people. There are some really amazing people.
Yeah.
Dr. Nolendor, bravo. Amazing. Dr. Herbert, yep. Those are good folks. Staff, all the Linda and there was a whole crew of nurses today. I went through 3 different appointments and 3 different checkdowns. So I'm out of it because I was battling my own battles. I'm done with IVs. Like I've got holes in my hands and my arms. I just yanked off that after tape.
Oh yeah.
which is always fun. And then,
Always the worst.
so you guys are hairy dudes.
Yes.
I'm not a hairy guy, but when they go in to do like EKGs and they do heart monitors and all that stuff, which they've been doing at a regular basis, first of all, they put gel on me, and then to yank them off. And I'm not a hairy dude. So then immediately I just thought, it must suck for you guys.
Oh yeah.
It must be terrible to pull those things off where most men have hair. I'm just blessed to have less hair there. Oh my goodness gracious. Like I was like, hey, first of all, when you're putting it on, your hands are cold.
Putting a foreign substance on. I've always said I will do a lot of things for charity, but there was one time when I was in Virginia, there was like a charity event where they wax guys' chest.
Hello.
That's where I crossed the line.
Hello.
I said, you know what? I'm good. I'll do a lot of things for charity. That's not one of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm, again, like you said, I'm a hairy dude.
I don't know how y'all. I don't know how y'all go to the doctor. Like like they've been doing IVs, and every time they pull it off, I get a mark. Right, I get a mark. Plus, I'm on blood thinner, so I get another bruising on top of the mark that they leave. So they were in both back of both hands, in both arms, and then they had the little monitor things all over, like all over my chest. And to take them off, I'm like, like buy me wine first. Give me a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
Like do
Wine and
something.
dine me.
Like do something. You coming in hot,
They got
right?
the funny gas in there. You get some funny gas.
Right, you coming in
Yeah,
hot.
that is true. They do have a lot
Well,
of
but they didn't offer me any of that first.
Yeah.
And then let me tell the story. So when you're a man of a certain age, ultimately you end up in the place where they have to do the exam that we all dread, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all dread, right? And the doctor came in and he was like, well, we have to check this. There's a certain gland we have to check. And he went for the glove. Like he went for the glove. Like he went to the glove before he went to like, dude, I just met you. Chill out.
Hold on.
Like I just met you. I don't even know.
That's not one that you should be a surprise. Like, oh, by the way, we're gonna throw in this routine.
Yeah.
This little added feature,
Yeah.
this little added trick. But to not even like give me forewarning at all
Yeah.
about it, I'm like, dude, we just met. You could have been a dude who stole like a badge and came in in here, right? You could have just come in here and was like, hey, I'm gonna have some fun, and nobody's gonna say no.
No one's gonna say
except for DP, because DP was like, nope, we'll put that on the schedule for next month. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's my
maybe not
day.
as much.
That's my day so far.
Well,
Let's talk sports.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, let's talk sports.
Can only get better from there. I think.
yeah, right?
So,
Yeah, that's something really get better.
Let's do the ID, and then we can have some fun.
All right, here we'll get to an ID real quick, and we'll be right back on the other side.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah, before we get to that, DP, J Stu says, at least give me some time to mentally prepare.
Like that's the rule.
I think that's
Like
what
that's the rule. Like ever since the movie Brian Song was made, the scene where he like Gale Sayers has to talk to the doctor to tell him, hey, look, Brian Piccolo's an elite athlete, and he prepares for the game. He has to mentally and physically prepare for the game. And you're just throwing this surgery at him willy-nilly. So give him time to prepare for the game. Well, that was me today. This is the big game. Like, this is a rival. This is a rivalry game. You're going to have to let me prepare. Like I said, just if you're in the profession, walk in with a rose or some candy or something.
help you out a little bit.
That says we are reaching deep, difficult water. Like, we're going in deep water. Let's have a conversation. I need to introduce myself.
That's the only way to describe it.
You know, and then I'm like, okay. So I look up the World Cup and see America's tied. I was like, okay, well, at least they're tied. You know, they're gonna go.
I was about to
to a draw.
say, Texter says, "Do you guys have anything?"
Come on in here. What do you?
Oh, he heard soccer.
What is it?
Oh, we're gonna talk soccer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we gotta let him. We gotta let him in the gate.
Flip this over real quick.
Gotta let him in the gate.
Yeah.
man.
So Texter says this. Do you guys have anything to say about the U.S. World Cup result? And I know you guys are going to be talking a lot about Nebraska
won? Did they
football,
win?
so let's get into it. I don't know much about soccer. I'll be completely honest.
But did they win?
But they tied, which is why I hate
well, that's
soccer.
Well,
so
that's
much.
a win for them.
Is it?
Yeah. First of all, they're lucky to even make it. They've never hardly even. They've always doo-doo down their leg.
Well, they didn't even make it last year,
or the year before. Yeah. So the fact that they tied, a tie in soccer is actually good. It's horrible.
I
in
just
football.
I hate it. I and then someone on Twitter made the comment. They were like, "Oh well, American football ends in ties too." Since 1974, there have been 28 regular season ties in the NFL. That's not that many.
And
Like
there's
let's not talk
quite
about
a few
ties. in the
quarterbacks
NFL.
that didn't name the famous quarterback that didn't know that you could tie in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
that was
recent.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know this,
He
Nate?
didn't know
No,
this
I didn't
going.
know
He
this.
didn't know. Like they were doing the coin toss. He didn't know
Yeah,
what was going on.
and he had probably started in the NFL for at that time 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb.
Yeah. Didn't know.
Really?
Yeah, didn't know.
Looking over the sideline, and then
He still wanted to play when everybody else is leaving. So where you going?
like what's going on? Like what's going on? Had no idea. He's like, what are they doing?
Seems to happen every time though. There's a tie. There's at least one player who's like, I just didn't even.
Yeah, wasn't Mark Sanchez another one that went
because
through?
really in everything that you do from youth sports, you don't play to a tie.
Yeah, why would at the NFL, the highest level,
Right.
you do?
Well, money.
Well, that's the thing about soccer. They
gotta
like
get-
ties.
They got to get the other game going. You understand that, right?
Plus,
Like
the players like you paid me for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't pay me
Yeah,
for
this
60
ain't overtime. You
Right.
don't get no extra for overtime.
Right.
You got to pay the owners when you play too long.
Right,
They're
right.
Like, man, my jet was supposed to leave.
Well, right,
Yeah.
right. Well, they're mad. They're really mad because first of all, it's overtime and they cut off alcohol sales
Right.
already.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, the concession stands are closed.
And they got to pay more in advertising.
Right, and we're not making any more money. So
A tie is fine. A tie is worth 1 point. A victory is worth 3.
He
You
doesn't-
lose, you
Nate,
get 0.
Nate doesn't understand.
I know he doesn't.
When you're,
I
when
understand-
you're in pool play, it's about getting enough points.
But this is what I don't understand now is because both the United States and Wales are going to lose to England, and then what happens when they both beat Iran? Then who advances?
Points.
Then it's up to who
Points.
scored the
Then it-
most
well,
goals.
yeah,
how
then
many points do
They'll
you
have the
beat
same amount of
Iran by?
points.
Then
No,
you gotta-
it's how many
many
beat
goals you score against
It's
Iran?
BCS, Nate. You got to win. If
Well,
if
BCS was dumb too.
Hey.
Unless Iran can beat Wales,
Yeah.
it's gonna be you've got to beat the brakes off Iran.
Or you have to keep it close against England. Like don't
Yeah,
let
you- yeah,
England
yeah,
boat
yeah,
race.
yeah, you can't get the
This
losers
is-
lean out there and get.
This
you-
is a
you-
good England team.
Well, but
Yeah,
I've
but
heard
their-
they're pretty
But their
good.
best player is out there.
Yeah.
No, that's France.
Yeah, no, France.
Yeah, their
Kylian
best-
Mbappe. Yeah.
their best player. is
How
out
do
there.
you know that?
Mbappe's been their best player for.
He's
for
been
a
their best
while.
player,
Yeah.
but their
Yeah.
really good players out for the whole. Forget his name.
I pay attention.
He's
I
out
was
for the
about to say
whole
that
World
was
Cup.
really impressive, Rico.
Telling you, I'm a big.
I didn't know
during
you
the
had
World
that
Cup,
in you.
Big Netherlands fan.
What?
Where-
What?
Yeah,
that's 'cause
yeah,
they-
their
yeah,
fans are.
I'm
because
a big Netherlands
Why?
fan.
You like Amsterdam?
No,
Oh, okay.
Their
Well, then
fans-
I don't know. Like one year I was watching the World Cup. Netherlands popped
8
up,
years ago.
and it was just that bright orange
8
jersey,
years ago.
and I was
man.
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, number
Yeah.
45.
Robin van Persie.
for Arkansas Pine Bluffs is from Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Yeah.
Netherlands.
Nice.
Nice
Is
play.
Netherlands one of the favorites?
No, they're always good. They're not.
They're top 16.
Yeah, they're
I'm
not
not
the
sure if
favorites.
they're.
It's the same. It's either. Well, Spain had really wanted two World Cups in a row. Then France. England's always good. Germany's always good. And hey, here's the thing about
Argentina and
Germany.
Brazil
Here's the thing
used to
about
be
Ger-
really good.
Yeah,
And now,
yeah. Here's the thing about Germany. Well, Brazil always comes in as the number 1 seed, and they lose like
They
in
always-
the round
yeah.
of 16.
yeah.
Right.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing about Germany. They have brothers on their team.
Yes, they
They
do.
do.
So that
And they're
lets me
good.
know that when they had a, I won't even say.
Ah!
I was gonna say, at least when people were stationed over there, some brothers
Yeah,
were leaving some
yeah,
seeds
yeah. Hey,
over
look,
there.
hey, look.
Because you know, old boy that
Hey.
did not want anything, no
Hey.
brown skin over there, man.
Yeah, they went over. Yes,
Now, there's
they
some,
did.
We're gonna be
some
getting
videos
in
of
trouble.
some-
They're gonna try to get DP. They're gonna try to make me apologize for getting on the radio again. I ain't Kyrie. I already got no
Right,
stuff going
right.
on.
Hey, there's some videos of some Englishmen just roaming the streets in Qatar. That's how they say it.
Yeah, end up over
And
the
they're
Sheik's
looking for
house.
beer.
Yeah.
Looking for beer, and they can't. And they
Well,
ran
they don't
across
allow
the
the beer,
sheik.
do they?
Huh?
They don't
Not at-
allow
not
the
at
beer,
the
do they?
game.
Not at the games,
Oh, okay.
but they ran across the sheik, and he invited them to their place.
Yeah,
so they were in a sheik's like mansion, just hanging out with him, and he had like a 4-year-old lion, and he's just got this video. Then they were in the Lambo, just speeding down the street. Dude's just on Snapchat.
What?
I'm like, dang.
Nate,
You go to Qatar, it's different.
Nate, like when it's hot out, you see people like the cement pavement. You'll see people like with the fire hydrants and stuff. To keep it cool.
Yeah,
they use gas over there.
It is.
I'm dead serious.
It's the money.
Yeah, it's
what money.
That's all it is.
Do you have Netflix?
Oh yeah.
Well, yes, I have Netflix.
You should watch
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Them boys. You talk about the mafia was doing stuff. These cats was doing it big.
Money. Like they said, we want the cup, and everybody's like, no, we'll have a draw. They were like, we want the cup.
How much?
We want the
That's
cup.
why everybody's telling like the fans that are in the stands, when Qatar was playing Ecuador, and some fans were going off to the dudes in the white robes with the little rope around holding they were like, you better watch out. You're gonna be one of those people that's disappearing.
Well, Ecuador won, didn't they?
They did.
2-0.
Don't go in the streets.
Yeah.
Some dude was saying he was in Qatar once a couple years ago for a business trip, and he was out. It was during Ramadan, and he was out eating a burger, and he almost got arrested. They don't mess around.
Yeah,
you better follow the rules.
Yeah, the World Cup and the Olympics pull back the curtain sometimes to things that you don't want to know. Right?
I'm just rooting for the U.S. Let's get to the round of 16, baby. Let's go.
I don't even know the last time they made it to the round of 16.
Well, no, it was
we
8
weren't
years
even
ago.
born.
No, it was 8 years ago.
Hey man, you remember when that
They had Dempsey had that put.
Well, the women,
they won.
The women. Thank goodness.
The women are struggling this year.
Oh,
their last,
but now
their last 4 friendlies, they've lost 3 of them.
Yeah, but get to the games that matter.
Hey, you remember when that cat from Mexico accidentally scored on his own goal and he got killed as soon as he got back?
Oh,
are you serious?
Oh, yeah, that was when it was in
the
LA.
So there was a 30 for 30 on it, and then there was a HBO
Losers.
Like
the biggest.
They went back and I mean the storytelling behind what happens for football in other countries.
Dead serious. Yeah.
Listen, if you're great, you live an exceptional life. But if you are just good, it's a problem. Like it's a problem. There's a 30 for 30 on it.
I was gonna say I need to watch this.
It is
He
mind blowing.
accidentally scored on the own goal and lost in the world. It was in LA, I think. It was in Los Angeles World Cup.
Amazing story.
He landed back in Mexico City. And the next day, good night.
And they don't care if you're a star player or not.
Yeah, go to sleep.
Like there are people who
that is crazy.
who put a lot of money behind it.
When you ran on the field, when he was scoring that 98
I
yard
would not have
touchdown,
gone.
That's your boy.
Yeah.
You
would have been done dealing.
Oh, he'd have been in witness protection.
Yeah.
Night night, George.
Yeah, he would have been his name. He would be Nicholas Papa Giorgio.
Plastic surgery on deck.
Oh,
I don't know. I knew soccer was big. I don't know. I'm just rooting for US.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's all I know.
Do that.
That's all that matters.
You got to do something.
Round of 16.
Distract yourself from.
They got Pulisic. He's good.
From the coaching search.
They good. Oh, I know.
Yeah,
we need.
I should be the coach though. Jeff Saturday's the coach.
Hey, it's working all right. It's working all right. They should have beat the Eagles. Should have.
No, they have to put you in the booth first.
Right.
Well, you're already doing the media thing.
You already
so
got
Jeff Saturday started.
Yeah, they got to. You got to be doing. You have to be a commentator first.
Right.
And then they can make you.
You got to be a special advisor.
Yeah,
that's where you got to go.
Air quotes.
Special advisor.
We got the media thing going.
That dude was eating his last bite of cheeseburger. Hey, I got one more question before you leave town. Yeah, what's up? You want to be coach tomorrow?
You want the job?
You want to coach on Sunday?
You feel
Do you think it was asked? I don't think it was asked.
Nah,
It was like, hey, Jeff.
He said he was asked. It was like at halftime.
He was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, but those are boys. Though. They're boys. Like they're boys.
Right.
Drinking beers up there.
Yeah,
they're doing something. That's
I bet you if you can't drink these 4 shots, I bet you I'm the head coach.
If you don't do it,
If you don't do it,
you're my new coach.
Old school coming up next.
Nebraska fans, Brokers Insurance Agency in Lincoln is a proud donor of Nebraska Athletics. Brokers Insurance Agency is located at 33rd and A Streets in the heart of Lincoln. At Brokers, they can help you with all your insurance needs. Let them worry about your insurance so you have more time to enjoy the college football season. Call one of their licensed agents today at 402-420-5353 or visit their website at brokersinsurancene.com. Go Big Red.
It's Championship Monday, and it's time to crown the Class A state title winner tonight at 7:15 p.m. Hey, guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me tonight